So today I would like to go over how to add some details. So obviously this one that I've got here, I just kind of threw a house on there. Everybody's kind of working on a different project in a different grade level. They have a different complexity to it. What I'd like to do is once you start getting your details in, you've done everything that's on the requirements. So then we're going to go over to this toolbar here, and the third one down is called components. All right, and this allows us to go into the 3D warehouse. Now some of you might have already been here already. This is just going to help you out. For some of you guys, this will be new. So in the 3D warehouse, you can pretty much type in just about anything you want. Let's say I do a tree, okay? And I hit enter. These are all trees that have been made by somebody in Google SketchUp. So they've got their screen names or whatever, and then it tells you the file size. So I don't recommend if you click on something that's a pretty big file. I don't know if I can find one right away. But you also look down at the bottom here. This says that this is page 1, and there's probably 10, 12 on a page, and there's 1,888 of these, all right? Not all of them are going to work for you, okay? There are some just single trees. People have developed whole areas. I'm not even sure what this is, but it kind of looks like a skate park in here, so I'm not sure where the trees are in this one. And then you've got something that's just like some circles. So you really got to kind of pick and choose and go through the different pages. You know, you're not going to spend your whole life looking for stuff like that. But this is a really nice one for if you're putting in your landscaping, all right? I'm going to type in 3D tree, see what we get from here. This seems like a nice one here. So I'm clicking on it, and then as soon as you click on it, it downloads it into the space. So you're going to get some of these shapes in here. This is how that tree was developed by this person. Hopefully when we're done clicking on it, those things go away. And if they don't, let's see what happens, all right? So it's attached to my mouse, so I'm just kind of moving it around to get it wherever I want, all right? And then I'm just going to click a space, and that's where it's going to be. So, oops, I'm looking at this right now, and I'm going to click off here. This one looks like they're not going to get rid of this stuff. So I went to the select button, and I really don't want those rectangles in there. Maybe they just didn't develop it far enough. I'm clicking on it, it's turning blue, and then I'm just going to delete it, and I am going to select another one, all right? It's downloading it into my model. Must be a pretty good size one because it's taking a little bit of time. And then it should be attached to my mouse. And when I find a good location, I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag it in there. So not too bad. What I want to show you here is some ways to adjust this, because maybe it could be too small. This is a perfect size for this one here. You know, maybe they're going to be too small or too big or something like that. What you can do is if we select it and we get it blue, if you hit S on your keyboard, it will give you the boxes to change the size. Now, if you want to change the whole thing, this is uniform scale. You see I'm clicking on the corner, and it's reacting to the corner in the back. This is really nice because then I can change it all at once to be whatever size I want. And if I wanted to go really big, I could have nice and big. Now, if you go from the sides edges, you're going to make it fatter, or you're going to make it shorter. All right, so you can actually change the dimensions a little bit to what you want for your tree. All right. Let's say that you've got something that's facing a certain direction, and you want it to go a different direction. So I think I'm just going to type in, let's try a lawn chair, all right? And what's a good one here? Let's do, ooh, this one's nice. All right, so there's a nice Adirondack chair. I don't even know if I said that correctly. And I want this to turn around because maybe my fire pit is on the other side. So I'm just going to move it over into the center. And I'm going to zoom in on it so that I can see what is going on here. All right. So I want this to turn around, and what I'm looking for is right above the measuring tape here. we have a move button, which is the arrows that are going up and down and side to side. All right. So I'm going to click on that, and I could click on the move if I wanted to position it in a certain spot. Maybe I want it more over here or whatever. Okay. In that same option, the middle option is rotate. Now this is where it gets tricky. There's a little bit of a learning curve here. So if I have my little wheel here is yellow, when I click on this, it will allow, let's see if I can get it. It's very tricky. All right. And so I've clicked on it, and I've tried to keep it in the center, and I've clicked on it again, which will then allow me to rotate. All right. And you can see that it is just going to go up and down. So I guess if I wanted the chair to be upside down. So notice how it is spinning, okay? That's what the yellow disc is going to do for you. I'm going to try to get out of this. Edit, undo. All right. And what I want is I want the blue disc, because this will allow me to spin around and around, okay? Now you'll notice I've got a little section here, a little dot. This is my center. So if I had this blue disc way over here, and I clicked again, my rotating base is huge. So you can see, let me zoom out here. Because I was so far away, you can look, it's a larger spin, okay? So I'm going to edit undo out of that, and let's see if I can do that again. And I may have to download the chair again here. So I'm going to move it over to the center. Boom. And we'll zoom in here. All right. So my goal is to try to keep that center. So I'm going to go to the rotate button, and I'm going to try to get the blue. All right. And it looks like I locked in on black, so that's not too bad either. As long as that disc is flat, this is giving me kind of a quarter turn. All right. So I'm going to edit undo out of that. I'm not sure why. There we go. So I'm trying to keep my center square as much to the center as possible, or even get it in the top. All right. So I'm going to go about here. So I've clicked it, and now I have to click it again to start spinning it. So that's not too bad. I've rotated it around, and now my chair is going in the proper direction. Again, if I select it and I hit S, I could make that chair quite large, or maybe I want it to be wider. I can make it into a bench. All right, lots of things you can do there. Tons of things to download into the 3D warehouse. All right, we got some bushes. Oh, good. So if you get something that says importing a large model, it is usually a pretty good model, but it will make, it says right here, might slow down the SketchUp. It does slow it down quite a bit, and is a little frustrating. So I wouldn't recommend for this project. Maybe if you're doing one on your own, the larger models are pretty cool. But I would probably cancel out of it and just try to find something that's going to work a little bit better for you. All right. But you can see here that you can click on certain landscape items. And let's see here. So like this is a perfect example that maybe if I wanted these to go along the edge here, then I would have to work on getting the rotate. All right. And see if I can rotate them around. And that's pretty large. So even if you have something this large, and I clicked over here, this this model ended up being on a larger circle. Let's see if I can get it to do it. There we go. And I rotated it just a little bit. It does have a little bit of an angle to it, so I might be able to correct that when I get it closer to the house. And it's blue, and you can see that it's not necessarily what you had downloaded. This is just what the drawing part looked like. So once you click away from it, then you start to get your realistic features going on in there. So I would use those options as much as possible to get in your landscaping. You can even add some things to the house. You can get a nice sidewalk in here, pretty much if you can think of it. Could be a driveway, could put a car in the driveway. All those things are in the warehouse. But that's our last step. So we're finishing our touch-ups. We're adding those details in, and then next week we're working on something new. All right? Email me if you got any questions, and I'll talk to you guys later.